Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today is May 1st and it's time to plant our dwarf sunflowers. We're going to bring them down to my son's memorial garden. Here are the dwarf sunflowers that we germinated outside. The sun's coming up, so walk with me down to my son's memorial garden. If you want free bulbs like these Easter lilies, come back to the cemetery after Mother's Day. People who place things like these Easter lilies will come back at Mother's Day and they'll throw those away and they'll replace them with a new plant. But wait until they throw them in the trash. Or things like these pansies. After Mother's Day, they'll probably be replaced with summer flowers. So check your trash cans. This variety is Dwarf Sunspot. It's about a 2-foot tall stalk with a yellow flower head. I've read it's between 7 to 10 inches with a brown center. I'm going to place a row around the garden. It's recommended that dwarf sunflowers be planted 8 inches apart. I also sowed dwarf sunflowers to give away to the community for free, but I'm going to hold those back for 2 reasons. Number 1, sunflowers don't like to be separated like that. And will birds come pull these up or animals dig these out. So if the sunflowers wither and suffer because I separated them, or if animals dig them up, I have more that I can come plant. And I could set up a low tunnel with some netting. I really don't want to do that, but I could. I sowed these in the pots in those trays outside with a greenhouse dome on top. I did that mid-April, and they germinated in only 4 days. I was concerned that they were going to get too hot because at that time it was in the 80s, but it was just perfect. And when they germinated, I did take that lid off. They've been growing now for 10 days. They're still very young. Sunflowers don't mind poor soil. You don't have to feed them, and don't overfeed them. But because I have pansies and snapdragons growing here, and this is really poor soil, I just added some organic fertilizer. Now I do need to protect them from slugs, and I also added some Sluggo. That one's really dry. Those were really dry. So let's go ahead and water all of these in. There's a watering can right over there. You can direct sow your sunflower seeds after your last frost. Here in north central Maryland, so you'll read that they've changed the last frost date now to March 27th, but I still follow the old date, which is April 30th. We've definitely had a frost after March 27th. But I tend to measure when to transplant my sunflowers when I see the volunteer sunflowers come up in the garden. And that happened last week. So definitely ready to be planted. I've already made the spacing holes and I counted how many I have left and have a few extras that I'm going to place on the inner, around the edges and the sides. Sunflowers are drought and heat tolerant. They don't require me to come every day in the summer to water them. But for now, yes, they're young babies and they need watering every day, at least for a week. And I'm going to come back anyway because I want to check to make sure the animals haven't dug them up. The pansies, I just transplanted those too, and they'll need watering also. The snapdragons, though, they're from the fall, and I haven't watered them at all this spring. The roots are really down deep. Big benefit this summer of not having to come water is because my husband Dale is having his liver transplant surgery. And this summer, I'm going to be busy taking care of him. I'm not going to have time to come down here and baby these plants. Sunflowers don't like cold nights. It's going to slow down their growth. But the next 3 days, the highs in the 80s and the lows at night are in the 60s. So that's going to be perfect for these. After that, it's going to be 70s during the day and 50s at night. And that's still good. Recently, last week, 2 nights were in the low 40s. And I did cover the tunnel these sunflower seedlings were in with a fleece because they had just germinated. And I didn't want them to have cold shock. That's happened to me in the past. When I've grown them indoors under lights, if I've watered them with super cold water, they've not been happy. Have you noticed how well developed the roots are? And that's only 10 days. If you start your seeds in pots, don't start them too early, or they'll grow tall and flop over. They'll get leggy. I have 18 more to plant. Then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Let's see if this works. Now, I noticed now that the old diseased tree is gone. We have a new tree right there, but we don't have the pests like we had before. There used to be so many bugs here. It's because of the diseased tree. come back and check our dwarf sunflowers and see how they do. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.